Hey guys, it's Emily, and today we're going to be planning my February TBR. So I'm back with another monthly TBR, and I'm so excited for this one because I feel like January went pretty well for me in terms of the TBR. Out of the 8 books that I ended up reading as of right now, 5 of those were from the TBR that I had set for the month, which I'm quite happy with. I didn't know if I would be able to stick to a TBR, but January has proved to me that I'm able to. I can if I want to. Like, if I put my mind to it, I am able to stick to a TBR, so we're going to be trying again this month. For this month, I have 2 things that I want to focus on, and they are romance books and finishing or continuing series. So I have put a list of options right next to me on my bed, and we're gonna try to make sure that all of those criterias are met. So as you may remember from the previous TBR, I have a couple of categories that we will be going through today. I'm going to be taking you guys along my TBR building process, and yeah, let's just dive into it. So before we even dive into the different categories and like the TBR jar and stuff like that, I have a couple of books that no matter what happens this month, I really want to get started with or just read. So the first one is the Disney book that I will be reading this month, because every other month I am trying to upload a new Disney video on my channel, and so I am going to be trying to read a Disney book every other month. The one that I have for this month is Straight On Till Morning by Liz Braswell. So this is a Peter Pan retelling in which the, I guess, tagline is, "What if Wendy first traveled to Neverland with Captain Hook?" So I'm quite excited to read this one. This is the, I think, 8th book in the Twisted Tales series. You can read them out of order, and I am going to be doing a reading vlog in which I read this one, which I'm quite excited about because I have heard from a lot of you guys that this was one of your favorites. So I am hoping I will also like this. I am also a big Peter Pan fan. Like, I do enjoy retellings of Peter Pans usually, so I am quite excited to dive into this one. And it will also, I guess, fit with the goal that I have to continue series because it is a part of a series. An audiobook that I would really like to get to this month is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. I've read this before and I want to reread it because one of my goals for this year is to fuel my creativity or just cultivate it, and it's also one of my professional goals. And so I remember when I read this book that it really fueled my creativity. I just really like the way that Liz Gilbert approached it, and I want to reread it. So I'm going to be listening to the audiobook, which is narrated by the author herself. I don't listen to audiobooks as much anymore, but I'm going to try to find the time and make it a priority. Finally, I have a book that I would like to start, but I'm probably not going to finish it in the month of February, and that's Mythos by Stephen Fry. So this is a retelling of various Greek myth? I don't know how to say the plural of this, but basically this says the Greek myth reimagined. So I'm quite looking forward to it. I've heard such amazing things about this book, and it's also a very pretty book, but it is quite thick and there are quite a few myths that are being retold in this. So I am probably just going to take my time and read a couple at a time. Am I out of focus? I'm sorry if that was, but I am quite excited for this. I have also downloaded the audiobook, which is narrated by Stephen Fry. I have to, if there's an audiobook narrated by Stephen Fry, I have to listen to it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, and since this is quite a hefty book, I'm probably not going to finish it this month. Now it's time for the fun part, which is a TBR jar. So I have a digital jar. Basically, I just have a list of prompts in a Google Doc. They're all numbered, and I'm going to be using a random number generator to choose the prompt for this month. Now, since I didn't complete last month's challenge, I think I'm going to go with 2 prompts for this month. I feel like this is going to be fun anyway, and I feel like this could be like a little punishment for not keeping up with the TBR 0 project. So we're going to be doing that, and let me just flip you over to my screen so that you can see what I'm doing. Alright, so here we have my list of prompts, but now let me go get a random number generator, enter the amount of prompts that I have, and let's generate 26. So let's find the prompt number 26, which is read a book with a title that starts with the same letter as your name. Ooh, so that's gonna be difficult. You know what? It wasn't that hard. I had kind of forgotten that there are a lot of books that start with the word A, and so I found one on my shelf that I'm interested in reading, and it's A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett Sinclair. So this is a dark romance retelling of the Greek myth of Hades and Persephone, and it's a book that I've already started. Actually, I'm on page 60 of this. I kind of put it down at the time because I wasn't feeling it, but I am interested in this. I've heard quite a few people talk about it, especially on Book Talk, and I know this author has just come up with a new book, so I've seen a lot of buzz videos around this author as of late, and I'm curious to read this one, so we're adding it to the pile. Now let's go back to our number generator and generate a new prompt. 49. What's prompt number 49? Read an ebook. You know what? This is actually kind of perfect because I am trying to go through my NetGalley shelf. I am trying to get my NetGalley ratio back up, and I do have a couple of arcs that I could read this month. And I think I'm going to go with Weather Girl by Rachel Lynn Solomon, which I had mentioned in last month's video, but I didn't get around to it. So I'm going to go with it for this month. It's about a sports reporter and a weather girl who are trying to get their bosses to be together. So I'm excited for this. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it, but I know that Rachel Lynn Solomon is a very popular author, so I'm excited to give one of her books a try. So the last thing that we need to plan for is buzzwordathon. So last month I ended up not doing the monthly prompt because I didn't have any books on my shelves that fit the challenge, and this month the challenge is pronouns and possessives, and I actually have the perfect book for this. Listen to Your Heart by Casey West. So this was kindly gifted to me by my friend Megan, so thank you so much, Megan. I am very excited to get to this one because I know it's one of Meg's favorites. I don't know how I feel about Casey West, to be honest. I either really enjoy her books or I'm not too into them. I have a feeling that this one though could be something that I really enjoy, so that's why I'm really looking forward to reading it. I think it's about a podcaster, but that's all that I know, so I don't know. It's giving me like summer vibes. I could have kept it for the summertime, but I don't know. We just need to read some fluffy romances this month, so this is what we're going to be adding to the pile. Now, we have already 5 books on our TBR, which is kind of a lot already, but I did read a grand total of 8 books in January as of right now, so I think we can add 8 books to my February TBR, and so that means that I have room for 3 more. So I'm going to show you guys the options that I have for this month, and we're going to choose the ones that I'll be keeping together. Alright, so here's the pile of books that I have to choose from. Those are the books that interested me the most at the time of like making my list of options. So first I have Scythe by Neil Schusterman. This is not something that I would have added to this TBR, but when I posted my entire physical TBR, a lot of you guys commented about this book, so it made me really curious. Then I have The Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is a 3rd book in the From Blood and Ash series. I really enjoyed the first one, wasn't a big fan of the second. It's a romance, it's a fantasy book, and it would continue a series, so I am definitely considering it. Then we have Hooked by Emily McIntyre. This is a dark romance Peter Pan retelling, so if I'm reading Straight On Till Morning, well, when I'm going to be reading that book, if I want to read more Peter Pan retellings, I could definitely go for this one. Then I have Fuel the Fire by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is the, 8th book in the Calloway Sisters series. Well, the Calloway Sisters and Addicted series. This is about Connor and Rose. This is like the 2nd book that's about them, and I need to continue the series. It's also romance, so definitely an option. Then we have Pages & Co., The Book Smugglers. So this is book 4 by Anna James. I really enjoyed the trilogy, so now I need to read this new one. And finally, I have Inkspell by Cornelia Funk. This is a sequel to Inkheart, which I read in January, well, most of December and January. And the audiobook for the sequel is narrated by Brendan Fraser. So I am very much considering this one, even though it's quite thick, but it would continue a series that I've already started. So alright, so here is my TBR pile plus 1 ebook and 1 audiobook, so 2 other books. Well, now I'm realizing that I have 9 books and not 8 like I had planned, so I miscalculated earlier. That's fine, we're gonna stick with it. I think I can read 9 books in a month because I'm almost at 9 books in January, because I'm reading something right now that I'm not counting in my stats for the month. So yeah, let's just go with it. So I'm just going to show you guys the books that I have picked and just do a final wrap up of everything that I'll be reading this month. So first we have Weather Girl by Rachel Lynn Solomon. This is going to be for my TBR 0 project and also for my NetGalley goal. I also have Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert that I would like to reread. This is going to be on audiobook for me because the author is narrating it. Next up I have Mythos by Stephen Fry that I would like to start this month, and I will be listening to the audiobook for this one as well. Another book on my TBR is Fuel the Fire by Krista and Vika Ritchie. Now, I picked this one because it has been a while since I've read a book in this series, and I do own all of the books, so I just need to get it over with and read all of them. I have enjoyed most of them, I think. There's nothing that I have given less than a 3-star, so for the most part, I do enjoy the series. Like, yes, it's thick, but it's usually a book that, well, a book series that I can fly through quite easily, so that's why I thought I would add this one to the list, and it is both a romance and a series, so I think this fulfills our priority for the month. One book that I have to read for my Disney video is Straight On Till Morning by Liz Braswell, so this one is going to have its own dedicated vlog coming up, so stay tuned for that. We have also picked A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett Sinclair for the TBR Zero project, and this is one that I've already started, so it shouldn't be too hard to finish. But I am quite excited. I do hope that I will be able to read the Mythos, like Stephen Fry version, and then read this. It would be quite interesting to read the Persephone and Hades retelling like from different perspectives, so I'm excited. Another retelling that I'm adding to my list is Hooked by Emily McIntyre. I thought it would be interesting to contrast the Disney book that I have, which is Straight On Till Morning, with this one, so we're gonna add it. I've heard a lot of buzz around this one. I've heard really good things about it. It is really like a dark romance, so it's going to be very different from what I typically gravitate towards, but I am excited to read it, and it doesn't seem like it's gonna be a long book. And I've heard that this is the first in a series as well, so all things that are very exciting to me. I'm also adding Listen to Your Heart by Casey West to my TBR for February because this is going to be fulfilling the buzzwordathon prompt for this month, which was pronouns and possessives, so I'm very much looking forward to reading this one. And finally, I have The Book Smugglers by Anna James. This is book 4 in the Pages & Co series. I just think that if I want to keep up with this series, I need to read them as they come out, and usually like the font is pretty big, there are illustrations throughout. I'm excited to read this. It came out at the end of 2021 and I was sad that I couldn't get to it then, so I'm excited to finally adding it to my pile for this month. So that is it for my February TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you're going to be reading in February in the comments down below. If you've read any of the books that I'll be reading, let me know what you thought of them, and I guess that's it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!